can't hear yourself. It's good. You're not turned up yet. Now try. Whoa. Hey.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Okay.
good.
No feedback. Hmm.
10 seconds.
Did you hear about your the awards, the weekly awards? I know
I
I'm
did.
always the one to tell you about it. See.
I did.
Okay, so you already got it.
Yeah, he sent a text out.
Sweep.
On the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield, this is Red Raider
Coming up.
Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock, presented by Rudy's
Thanks.
Barbecue, also brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit Rudy's.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. And by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Register for your chance to throw out the first pitch at RedRaidersContest.com.
It is a great day to be a Red Raider.
Red Raider Baseball is presented by First Bank and Trust and Prime West Mortgage. Now, here's your host, Jeff Haxton.
Hey, good Monday, everybody, and welcome into Rudy's here, South Loop and Slide, as we've got Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock. Get your questions in, and most importantly, come by here and grab your dinner. They've got the brisket, the sausage. We even hit up the Rudy's in Norman just right after the series ended to get ourselves a nice little jump start down here. So Rudy's in Norman, Rudy's in Lubbock, wherever it is, they've got the brisket, the spicy chop. You can just have them make you a sandwich, make your own sandwich. And today, Tim and I, Big Tim over here, we got into the cream corn sandwich I'd never done before. I didn't even know they served it. It was really, really good. Head coach Tim Tadlock is here. Coach, how are you doing on this windy Monday?
Yeah, just fine. Just rolled back in last night and been a busy day and got an idea. We got a couple Grand Canyon guys out there. We could get them on the radio.
Hello, gentlemen.
There
Welcome
you
to
go.
Lubbock.
There you go.
As we got to go out there last year and play at Grand Canyon. They're back in here and going to take on your guys tomorrow and on Wednesday. Coming off the trip to Norman, I know there's a lot of emotions that go into that because you used to coach there. Ray Hayward used to play there. Joe Hughes used to play there. Then you've got the friendship with Skip. You've got the kind of the inner workings and the tight-knit, close coaching staffs. Just your overall emotions after taking 2 or 3.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend. Proud of the way the guys went in, competed. Guys made all that very easy on us. As far as all the things you mentioned, we had some good times there. Kelly and I had a great time there, obviously, in our 6 years there, and a lot of good friends there. Good place to play. Glad we came out on the right side of it.
When you think about what you've done with the awards, let's get that right here and not bury the lead. Gavin Cash, the player of the week. Gage Harrelson, the newcomer of the week. Ryan Free, the pitcher of the week. I don't know if you've ever swept it before. I'm sure you probably have, but that's darn impressive, Coach.
Yeah, I think Burkholder sent out a deal that said that we never had, and those guys played awful good. They earned every bit of it, and these guys really like playing. I mean, I'd throw Brendan Gerton in there too. I mean, Brendan threw the ball awful well on Friday, and that's a really big key to how the weekend, got kicked off. I mean, we really didn't get a great start right off the bat, and I know we're wanting to talk about the awards, but, winning the game on Friday is important, and he gave us 4 innings there out of the bullpen, and Beckel did 2. Coombs came in and got an out there when he needed to, and, again, but the awards are nice, and you got to have somebody like Burkholder, nominating them for those awards, and they put up some good numbers, and I guess across the league their numbers jumped out at everybody. I could say
Mazzell, too.
You could also say the Carmichael kid that threw against us yesterday. I mean, he threw the ball awful good, and what did he go, 7 or 8 innings, something like that.
7 plus, I think.
Yeah, he threw the ball awful good. So across the Big 12, there's always good performances. It's nice when the guys get, recognized of having a good weekend.
Well, I would imagine you got a lot going through your mind when it comes to the pitching because you changed it up a little bit. You went Molina, moved him up, and then that allowed you to go Gurton from the bullpen, or if things went really well, maybe Gurton could start on Sunday. And then we end the series with Bo Blessey on the mound. So there's got to be a lot going on in your head when it comes to these pitchers, right?
Yeah, it was really, we liked the way Rogers handled himself last Monday out in Palo Alto. Thought he threw the ball fine, thought he had command of what he was doing for a little bit of the game. He was a little bit better yesterday. And as far as like Blessey and as far as getting Bo on the mound, I think it's been since opening weekend.
February 28th.
Yeah, and so that's a big arm, getting back out there, and definitely a piece that could help you, especially, to come in to get a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter, in the middle of an inning or something. He's a guy who's seen a lot of college baseball. And so, yeah, there's definitely some moving pieces there. And then obviously you go back to the awards and go, hey, Ryan Free made it look really easy. And when we brought him in that game, we really we're kind of just trying to decide whether to bridge it to him or just go to him. Mm-hmm. And, he made our job easy as far as managing the game goes, because he never let a base runner get on, which is pretty incredible. And that's part of it too. Is the guy's playing good defense behind him. You kind of wish you go out and do that on Sunday. And Sunday we let them have some free base runners, and but you're always thinking about the whole big picture for sure.
How cool is that for Free? Mom and Dad there. Mom and Dad played at Tech. They're watching them. That's big league.
Yeah, they've been to a lot of games, and when a guy's coming out of the bullpen, it's harder probably to time it up exactly when he's going to pitch. But I'm pretty sure they were there the whole weekend. I know that's a really cool experience for him, and he threw a no-hitter last year. I don't know who it was against, and I think he had a shot at a perfect game, in a junior college game last year. And so he's a kid, when he does get the location of the fastball going, the secondary stuff's pretty good.
Yeah, boy, it was. And I had a chance to speak with him. He said, man, it's crazy the difference between like just the attention that you get from Grayson. He's like, I threw a no-hitter at Grayson last year. Nobody said a word, and now you do that here against the University of Oklahoma. People take notice, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you think about it, between him and Carmichael this weekend, both those two kids are Grayson kids.
Yeah. And
they both do the ball awful well.
11 innings combined-ish, 12 innings somewhere around there with both of those guys. Kyle Robinson.
Yep.
Progressing? What do you think of him right now?
I think so. I think Kyle's throwing the ball good. I think he's in a good spot right now. And definitely he's a guy that's very diligent about what he's doing. And absolutely, he's coming on.
Andrew Devine. Where's he at?
Yeah, Andrew's probably over at his house somewhere in Lubbock. To be specific, where he is. And, where is he? My mom would say between the A and the T, Hacks. She didn't like that. She always corrected me.
Okay. All right.
Have you ever heard that?
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
but you've hit me with these
claimed
before.
to be an English major, I guess.
Okay.
Is that, anybody know, is that correct English? It's not, is it? Yeah. I've been told that for a long time. But then again, like, people have been making fun of the way I talk for a long time. So just between the A and the T is pretty subtle.
The one you got me was the superstitious.
Bad luck be superstitious. Yeah. Yeah.
You got me on that one day.
Yeah.
We were sitting right here. With Gavin Cash, I know you don't like to talk about these individuals at all, and I know he's going well, but
I love talking about him.
Okay,
it's just, it's baseball, and again,
I know.
like, you hope he's in the cage right now, getting ready for tomorrow.
Did you expect to get this kind of level of play when you got him transferred in?
I didn't know exactly what we had. Bill Pentard out there in Santa Barbara really liked him, swung the bat really good. Bazell really liked him. A guy I played against that played in Austin, lives in Austin. His name's David Lowry. He did call and say, hey, I think he's got more power than the guy that won the Player of the Year last year. And I don't know if I'm going to say that just yet, but it tells you, he's a guy that was probably one of the top 3 hitters in the Southwest Conference back in early 90s, something like that. So the guy knows a hitter, and so so we had a few guys, you know, saying, "Hey, you think you're going to like him?" Obviously, our staff liked him coming out of high school, and but no, as far as the number of home runs, I don't think you can ever predict that. And he's definitely put together good at bats, you know, through the year.
Well, just the reason that I wanted to bring it up is we were rocking along on one of our broadcasts, and Ty Parker sent us a screenshot of the single season home runs, and if he hits one more, he's tied for ninth. Okay, and at the top of that list is Zach Reams, who hit 17. And I just think about what kind of regard I hold Zach in, which is pretty darn high for the year that he had. Didn't get a great start, right? Hits the ball out at Baylor, hits it into the Brazos, and then all of a sudden he's a huge contributor and hitting home runs in super regionals. So I hold him in high regard. So he's one away from there. Then you got Jace Young hit 21. That's third most. Joe Dillon in 1997 hit 33. John Grimes in 1984 hit 24. So what I'm saying is he's about to join elite company, and that's why I wanted to bring him up.
Yeah, Joe Dillon, definitely some elite company for sure. I mean, that guy could really hit. Played in the big leagues a little bit. I'm surprised Mike Humphreys isn't on there. I'm surprised there's still not some guys in there from the 90s that were on there, and even
Mike Humphreys hit 18.
Rucker on there.
Clint Bryant hit 18.
Yep.
Rucker's, what'd you say?
Rucker is he on there?
He hit 20 in 96.
Yep.
Josh Brady hit 21 in 2004. Thank you.
Yep.
And then Keith Ginter's on there for 97 and 98.
Yeah, there's some really good teams through there. I mean, I remember going to watch them play. I was coaching in Hillsboro. They were playing in Waco, and like they were peppering balls off the scoreboard in Waco. Like, I mean, like literally you're going, man, like seen a bunch of games here, and like just making that ballpark look really small. And but yeah, as far as Gavin goes, I think there's more in the tank for Gavin. I think he's, you know, becoming a really good hitter, and he really likes playing. I told a friend of mine this morning. He was commenting on how good he played, and basically going, man, what's really neat is he's one of the harder workers on our team, and one of the harder workers we've had come through here. And so that's always neat when you see a guy, you know, do that.
We got a question coming up here in just a moment. Don't forget to get by Rudy's and get your barbecue, take it home, or just eat it here on the picnic tables. We got a question about youth up the middle from JR. We'll get to that. We'll talk some Grand Canyon. We'll talk some Baylor. We'll talk some Big 12. All that and more coming up here on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield.
You are clear, break one.
And when highways and debris damage your roof, there's only one company to call. It's Brothers Roofing.
We got a 4-minute break.
For over 35 years and are part of the Lubbock Area Roofing Contractors Association. So you know they'll do the job right. If it's not ABR, it's not Andrus Brothers Roofing.
Yeah. Roy Budney is one of my professors in North Texas. Roy? Yeah.
Surf Pro of Southwest Lubbock knows your home is one of the most valued assets you'll ever own. So, if you're ever faced with fire or water damage, make your first call to an insurance professional and your second call to Surf Pro at 806-780-6311 for fire and water cleanup and restoration. Or visit surfpro.com for more details. Surf Pro of Southwest Lubbock will treat your home right and make water damage like it never even happened. Surf Pro franchises are independently owned and operated.
West Texas Land Guys is one of the region's premier developers with projects in Lubbock, San Angelo, and Abilene. West Texas Land Guys have developed hundreds of acres and 10 communities in Lubbock alone. To see some of our work, visit the vineyards at Escondido or come see us in the 2023 Parade of Homes in Sedona. Whether you're thinking of selling land or want to buy a lot for your dream home, we've got you covered. Visit WestTexasLandGuys.com to see how
We had to team up in groups and a project that we had to develop an ad campaign
For
for
a
at the end of the
century,
year.
Farmall
It was
tractor
Diet Blue Bell
transforms
ice cream.
farming. Generation after generation, still incredibly reliable, still all-purpose as ever, still loved by all. To celebrate 100 years of Farmall, Case IH is giving away a Farmall Utility 75C tractor and $15,000. Sign up to win at your local Wiley Implement or visit farmall100.com.
I'm Scott Wilder. We'll try hard to earn your business, but even harder to keep it. That's it. That's all.
You know metal
Mart is the place to get all the metals you need for your big projects. But did you know Metal Mart also offers building kits? We're talking 24 by 24 from $7,699 to 40 by 60 at just $25,999. Plus all sizes in between in 8 different colors. With a 30-year warranty on color walls and 20 years on Gavilan Plus. Your job just got a little easier with your new building kit from Metal Mart. Check us out at 4309 Idlewood Road or metalmart.com. Metal Mart, the right materials for the right price.
Looking for the best Texas Tech gear? Then shop with the official retailer of Texas Tech Athletics, the Matador. We have everything Texas Tech at shopthematador.com and enjoy free shipping. Shop for Under Armour coaches sideline and on the field players gear. Shop for brand names like Texas Tech Yeti drinkware and stylish, trendy game day wear. The Matador is proud to be locally owned, alumni, and student operated. We are loyal and passionate about Texas Tech. Shopthematador.com.
So we got trace breaks left, right?
Correct.
All right.
And then your fire out will be at 57:41.
All right.
Before the success, before it all, Gavin Cash treated me like an MVP. Patrick Mahomes.
30 seconds.
Story started in 1996, and it continues because of you, our customers, our communities, and our
You want to get mad on here tonight, any?
If you want to.
Good.
But where does your
It's up
story
to you.
start?
It's up to you. You the man.
Whether starting a business, saving for the future, or launching your ideas to the next level, we want to help you take your first steps
10 seconds.
or email one of our bankers today. At First Bank and Trust, we see potential.
Hey, 111 222. Hey, 1212121212. Just about 16 minutes into the show here on the Texas Tech Sports Network. It is Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock. Don't forget about the breakfast tacos in the morning. This place opens early. You can get the brisket tacos. They have the regular bacon and sausage. You can throw that on there. But the breakfast tacos are money. You can grab them and go. Eat them here. The fountain's wonderful. They got the sweet tea, unsweet tea. Make yourself a little Arnold Palmer. They've got the Coke machines, then the onions and the pickles and jalapeno peppers, cream corn, green chili stew, all of it here at Rudy's South Loop and Slide. Come by and see us. Coach, let's talk clocks. Just what everybody thinks of when they talk about baseball. Clocks. Are these rules tougher for the pitchers or the hitters? I asked Matt Gardner this yesterday. Who's it tougher on?
Definitely the hitter. I mean, they're really putting all the onus on the hitter being in the box, being attentive to the pitcher at 10 seconds. And so a pitcher could be not even on the rubber. Or could be on the rubber, and I want to say get off the rubber, look at a card like the guy was doing. I mean, you could do any number of things to try to get strike three, in other words, to where the hitter's maybe looking down, tapping his bat.
If you look down,
you're supposed to be looking towards the mound.
okay.
And so the hard thing was on both those ones that happened this weekend, just really big moments in the game, really long at-bats, guys in scoring position. Both guys ended up with 4-hit games. So it was the only time they got out of the night. But by rule, I think they did it right. Now, by rule, what we can do is if we see the clock get down, the hardest thing is there's been a number of times where it gets to 12 or 11, you go, oh, we're good. You got 1 second. Well, if it gets to 9 and he's not looking, you're going to be out. You know, they can call the strike. And so that's the hardest thing. I think in both those at-bats, I think we were all more, you're looking at other things that are going on in the game. You're not really looking at the clock is what you'd like to do. And so
That's the same way from our perspective.
yeah, and so I'm sure
We're not out there watching clocks. We're watching. He's at the
and
belt.
So what Joseph and I talked a little bit about on Sunday was like he can watch the clock for me and basically say, hey, because you can call an offensive timeout.
So is that
If you
why we're
think,
seeing
like,
so
if
many
you
more
think your
offensive
hitter's
timeouts?
not ready. No, like early on, it wasn't. It was more to slow the game down to give pitcher rest. That's when you were seeing that. No, and then yesterday's offensive timeouts were more, I think, about, or the day before, whatever day it was, about strategy. But hey, this is what we're going to do. Those types of things.
So Bazell, it looked like his argument was, and again, we're a long ways away, so correct me if I'm wrong. He got angry real fast and then pointed his bat out towards the mound. It looked like his argument was he wasn't even ready to throw the ball.
And he wasn't even on the rubber. He was looking.
And yet the batter's out.
Yeah, he was looking at the card to see what sign they were going in the sequence, with a man on second base. And I, it's a tough deal. I think it's something they will look at. I do think it's speeding the game up. I do think there's some good there. It's been interesting to me watching big league games where they're not even giving signs anymore. Like, it's going so fast, they're pretty much, the big league games become, hey, win the 17 inches, hit it when they throw it over the plate. And obviously those guys are professionals and they know when to take pitches and things of that nature. And you're not going to be around a whole long time if your guys getting out early in the count all the time. Like, your guys like Kirby Puckett and Tony Gwynn, when they go swing 0-0 all the time, they're hitting 320 for a career. And, those other guys that aren't doing that, right now those games are interesting. But as far as our deal goes, I really felt bad for both of our guys, but especially day two, just because I'm going, man, it just happened yesterday. I guess I'm not learning because I'm watching that bat and I'm really watching the guy with the card, the pitcher, and I'm sitting there going, man, like for about 3 pitches, I'm going, man, you really might be able to sandlot this guy when he's looking at the card because the ball was in the glove. And so I'm looking at other stuff and going, man, is there an opportunity here? And next thing you know, it's strike 3, and we got a good laugh out of it on Saturday, and everybody it was what I mean is between the umpires and us, they don't like the rule. They're enforcing what they're telling them to do. They don't like that they have to call strike 3 in the middle of an at bat. I don't think there's any way they want to do that.
So my dad's argument was, and this was, I thought pretty interesting. He's like, okay, put yourself in the pitcher's position. And he said, if the batter's not ready and not attentive, just throw the ball. And I said, I understand what you're talking about, but they're trying to get something that they can get for free without even throwing the ball.
Yeah, I actually asked Skip on either Saturday night or Sunday morning, was he teaching this guy to do that intentionally? And he emphatically denied it. But if he is teaching it, in a long at-bat, it's not a bad strategy. I mean, the more pitchers a guy sees, the more pitches a guy sees, the better chance he usually has. And both those at-bats were 10, 11 pitches.
Yeah.
And so pitchers like taking a breather and like going, oh, well, let's see if he doesn't get in there by 10 seconds.
Right.
Hopefully we're not teaching these Grand Canyon guys anything. Y'all don't try that tomorrow. They're not even listening.
All right. This is from JR. Have you ever had freshmen at second, shortstop, and center field before?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's I don't know about if we've ever had it here. I mean, we've wanted to do it many times, and when you get the right guys, it doesn't matter if they're freshmen or sophomores or juniors. When they're baseball players, they're baseball players, and we really, I mean, J. Bob and I were just talking an hour ago about this exact thing. Like our group that we got coming in, we really like them, and talking about another group of young guys. And when you get guys that are talented and they're baseball players and they've got a passion for playing, it's a lot of fun running them out there. Now, we're not starting 2 middle guys in the middle infield right now. I mean, we're running
Correct.
one out there at a time at short, and obviously Gage has been playing some center, and and you're catching Maxie some behind the plate, and so we're young in other places too. I mean, you think about it, like if at third base and first base, those guys they're not real old. I mean, they're they're in college baseball terms, they don't have a lot of experience. But like we said earlier in the year, they've got experience playing baseball. They've played a lot of baseball, and they're kids that played a lot of baseball through the pandemic, and it shows at times, and sometimes the inexperience shows at times.
Do you think the youth showed up in a bad way on Sunday?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, it's I'll take full blame for for Rogers not covering first base. That's really the biggest fundamental thing that, just looking at that game, you're going, okay, their first base runner gets on a ball between the mound and first. And when you're at any level of baseball, you want to get an out on those. And, I think we also had a little bunt that checked up right in front of home, didn't get an out on it. And so there was 2 or 3 just fundamental things you want to be better at. But as far as experience showing up, I guess if you want to ask Trace or Lopez to sit on a breaking ball 0-0 with a man in scoring position 2 times in a row with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, you could do that. Like Corey Seager does. But Corey Seager's been playing baseball a lot. He's had a lot of really big at-bats and big moments. And so we'll take our chances with those guys, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm kind of curious when you ask me, like, where do you think it showed up?
Oh, just on some of the decision-making, maybe just some lapses of concentration, a little bit on the base running, a little bit on the fielding, a little bit on positions, just – where it's been dialed in, and it was dialed in Palo Alto and Norman, there was just some.
Yeah, we talked about like what you're talking about, like in positioning. We had some awareness stuff where guys didn't know where green was, for instance, like Burns had that, and which we talked about all right after the game. Since then I've kind of moved on, but that did happen. And the base running stuff, again, like you're usually talking about guys being aggressive. And I really like Gage's decision to go to third in the inning you're probably talking about. And I like Baz's decision. It's just both decisions might have happened a hair. But they're aggressive decisions, and you go with that. And if he makes it, you're like, man, you got the tying run on second base. And, and so we didn't even actually go over that because you're going to have some of that on the offensive side. And again, you're going, for instance, like Cash getting picked off second base. When that happened, I mean, that was, if he doesn't hit the double, he's not on second. That's what I tell people. And like, if Baz doesn't hit the double or the single, he's not trying to get to second. So if you got 9 guys making some mistakes like that at this level, you're going to be pretty happy because they're going to be hitting a lot of line drives.
Yeah.
And when they throw it over that white plate, they tend to hit it really hard. And so what we're trying to do is get all 9/10 of that lineup to doing that and, and kind of holding their own there as far as that goes. So I got no complaints with those 2 things. But those are things we looked at. The bigger part was the again, like the small things, the bunt play and the PFP play and just simple stuff.
Billy wants to know, how do you make your brisket so moist?
How do I make it so moist?
That's what he said.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever even cooked a brisket, Billy.
Just eat it here.
We're going to have to give that credit to Rudy's.
All right. We'll come back more with Coach right after this on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield.
Clear break 2.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
College baseball isn't just about a game, it's about pride. Pride for our Red Raiders who leave it all on the field every game. Pride for Texas Tech, a school that has shaped the landscape of West Texas. And pride for Lubbock, a community that shares a passion for our hometown team. At Plains Capital Bank, our commitment to Tech baseball runs deep. Supporting our community is just a part of who we are, as a company and as individuals. That's why we're in the crowd cheering on the Red Raiders at every game. Because at Plains Capital Bank, we're proud to be here too. Plains Capital Bank is a proud partner of the Texas Tech Centennial. Rank 'em Tech,
By the way,
member FDIC.
George Frazier openly mocked Cash.
I'm
when he got
Texas
picked
Tech
on
baseball
there.
coach Tim Tadlock. Our
Tom, say that,
coaches and
don't
players
rest behind
compete
me.
each day to represent Texas Tech at the national level.
Nobody
Red
was
Raider
happy
Club
with him.
members provide the necessary resources to be our best. Thank you for giving to the Red Raider Club and supporting more than 400 student athletes through scholarships, academic support, nutrition, sports medicine, and much more. You are the lifeblood of this department.
And
Wreck 'em.
he got more sour as the
At
as
Reliance,
Saturday
being
went
a part
because
of Red Raider Nation means
Oklahoma
more
was
than just cheering on
beating
the
the tar
team.
out of him.
It's about being
He
there
was
for the
openly
community
rooting on
that
Sunday.
supports one another.
just
As an electricity
crotchety by the
provider,
year.
it is
Yeah.
our
Really
commitment to
does.
every customer.
Gus pointed out that you can
And
put him in
it's
his
as
place by
strong as
pointing
our
out that he's the
Texas
only
roots.
guy in Major
It's
League
our
history
promise today
to lose
and
3
for
games in the
generations to
7-game
come.
World Series on the
We
mound.
look forward to teaming
That
up
would
with
do
you.
it.
Reliant, proud
But he was
partner
there.
of
He
Texas
was
Tech
there.
Athletics. Reliant, PUCT number 10007.
Yeah, I know. I heard the same thing.
What does
Good
it
luck.
take to make the perfect brisket? Baseball
Yeah, it
and
was
barbecue lovers know that the perfect brisket needs the right wood. Rudy's smokes all of their meats using their delicious signature rubs and 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix
It's the
today
highlight reel.
at Rudy's or on the web
They
at
put together a highlight reel,
He said
and it was in
Simmons
that,
Pump
and
and
they have
Supply.
the
Costs
commentary
are our
from
business, but
Tim
people
Neal.
are our passion.
Yeah.
Your water supply is critical to the
he would say a couple things. I could literally figure, just physically hear your boy rolling just reaching every time he would say
for
something.
66 years. The next time your well
It's
stops
gonna be like 5
producing,
seconds of
make
silence,
sure your
roll the
contractor
sticker
calls
going.
Simmons
How do I
Pump
deal
and
with that?
Supply, the highest quality solution for your water well applications. Or visit SimmonsPump.com to find a contractor in your area.
did say-
And most importantly, Reckham Tech.
One point about Cash.
Stay up to date with all of your favorite Red Raider
not even
teams. Find
entertaining the
everything
idea
you
of
need on
throwing this
TexasTech.com, including scores, schedules, game recaps, and much more. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite social media
Not even
accounts,
thinking about
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat. Be sure to use the hashtag Wreckham to join the conversation. If you have any questions about your favorite Red Raider team, visit TexasTech.com or call 806-742-TECH. Texas Tech Red Raiders, fearless champions, live here.
30 seconds.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants you to throw out the first pitch at an upcoming Texas Tech baseball home game. Register to win by visiting RedRaidersContest.com.
Yeah, I know.
There's still one opportunity left
He was headed
to
that
throw
way.
out the first pitch.
Hey.
Winner will receive 2 game tickets.
10 seconds.
Throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Enter to win by visiting RedRaidersContest.com and be a VIP thanks to Texas Farm Bureau.
Back here with the head coach at Rudy's, our home through football, basketball, baseball seasons, and for Coach Tadlock on Monday nights, unless we're in Palo Alto, which was a busy week we just completed, Coach. That was, and I think a fun week. I mean, you started last week, no true road wins, and you got 3 in a row, and over good competition. So, boy, I just come out starting this week, just feeling really good about things, and it feels like there's been some strides made.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, after game 1 in California, you come back and win game 2, and then obviously find a way to win on Friday and Saturday. And, overall, you're right. You're definitely in a better spot winning them than if it was the alternative, for sure. And, you go into a weekend, you're trying to win a series. Obviously, when you win 2 and you're in position to win on Sunday, you'd like to be able to do that. And at the same time, going back on it, and the Stanford game 1, obviously could have probably gone either way. Usually when it's a 2-run ball game, that's the case. And
Sure.
And but yesterday you got soundly beat by Oklahoma, and they played really well.
The top 25 has Texas Tech at 16. And let's take this time to just kind of do an overview of the Big 12 Conference, because you've got just wildness going on here. You got Texas at 8-4, K-State 9-6, TCU 7-5, West Virginia 5-4. So West Virginia loses a home series to Kansas, and then they win a road series at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State all year seems like they've been the highest in the top 25. They're in the middle now, 8-7. Texas Tech 6-6. Kansas 5-7. Baylor 5-10. Oklahoma 4-8. Anything surprising on this to you?
I tell you, probably the biggest surprise is when you add in the RPI piece of it, and you look at RPIs, and you go, okay, how's this going to work out? Because like right now, you go, you just really just need to win. Everybody that's in position to either host a regional or get into a regional, got to win your weekends, and then you got to hope the committee looks at it and goes, okay, hey, these guys won this many weekends out of the Big 12. They deserve to host. I mean, you are talking about, last year you're talking about a team that played in the national championship game didn't host. You're talking about a league that got 5 teams in, which I think there's every bit of. I mean, West Virginia was 14-10 last year. If you go 14-10 in a Power 5 league, you probably need to get in. Even though I think those decisions they're based solely on, a lot of it's just you go to the RPI. And I haven't looked at it specifically. I've talked about a few and talked with a few people, and there's just not a lot of, like Oklahoma State's is in a good spot, Texas is in a pretty good spot. I don't really know where TCU's is. I did look at, or was talking to somebody. We were on a Zoom today, and I think Kansas State's way up there, and they're in second in the league. And so, but as far as the league goes, it's it's interesting to me just the way the schedules lined up. I think we had 2 weekends under our belt, and I don't think they'd played in Morgantown yet, if I remember right. And,
correct.
And so we're at the halfway point. I do know this: we got a chance to still win the league if you go play good.
Getting to the RPI, the highest ranked team in the Big 12 right now is Texas at 14, then Tech at 16. The RPI.
Texas. Who's at 16?
Tech.
Okay.
RPI Texas 21. UTSA.
Oh, you're
29.
talking rankings.
Yeah, I was talking D1
yeah,
baseball.
I got news for you. When they get in those committee rooms, they don't really look at those rankings.
Why do they?
They look at the RPI is a big factor in there, and that's where our league right now. We just gotta, again, you need to play well in the league if you can.
So we're talking RPI now.
Sorry about that.
DBU is 18, Texas 21, Oklahoma State 36, TCU 46, Texas Tech 62. Grand Canyon's about 80 something, I think. So, yeah, no, 93. So
it's just an interesting topic. I mean, like I think with a 9-team league and as good as our league is, it's just something that moving forward, especially losing Texas and Oklahoma, in the next couple of years, we just got to figure out a way to where, a team that's competitive. I mean, we're going to keep putting good teams together out here. We got to figure out a way to, where you're not having to just do crazy stuff to get in. Where the SEC and ACC, you go 500 in your league, you're getting in a lot of times. I mean, last year I think the team that won it, we'd have to go look, see what they were in SEC play. It wasn't real good. And they won the whole thing. So, baseball to me is a sport that if you're playing good at the right time, and like I do know in the past they've looked at the last 15 games of your year, are you playing good down the stretch? How is your starting pitching in a good spot? Is your bullpen in a good spot? And you can make an argument for a bunch of things, like, hey, how good's your offense? Like, has anybody shut that offense down? Stuff like that. And so
14
Yeah, and
16.
so the team that won the national championship last year is 14-16 in SEC, and
got hot.
And you look at, okay, Big 12 had a team that was 14-10 and didn't get in, and I can assure you, with West Virginia's number 1 on the mound or number 2, it's going to be a good baseball game between those two teams, and that's probably the hardest thing for the people making those decisions right now. I don't wish that upon anybody.
All right, we'll come back and talk a little Grand Canyon next as we talk baseball. Red Raider baseball with Tim Tadlock here on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield.
At Reliant,
Clear break 3.
means more than just cheering on the team. It's about being a part of a community that supports one another. As an electricity provider, it is our commitment to every customer, and it's as strong as our Texas roots. It's our promise today and for generations to come. We look forward to team Reliant. Reliant, proud partner of Texas Tech Athletics. Reliant, PUCT number 10007.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
What does it take to make the perfect brisket? Baseball and barbecue lovers know that the perfect brisket needs the right wood. Rudy's smokes all of their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com.
Red Raider fans, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants you to throw out the first pitch at an upcoming Texas Tech baseball home game. Register to win by visiting RedRaidersContest.com. There's still one opportunity left to throw out the first pitch. May 6th versus Sam Houston State. Winner will receive 2 game tickets, a pregame field experience, and throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Enter to win by visiting RedRaidersContest.com and be a VIP thanks to Texas Farm Bureau.
This is Texas Tech Athletics Director Kirby Hoka. Red Raider fans are some of the best and most passionate fans in the nation, and there's no denying it. There is also no denying that supporting our sponsors is one of the best ways to support the Red Raiders. Year after year, when businesses support the Red Raiders, they help provide funding for the many needs in Tech athletics and make games like the ones you're listening to on this Texas Tech radio network possible. So next time you're in need of a product or service, show your Red Raider spirit and support the companies that support Texas Tech.
College baseball isn't just about a game, it's about pride. Pride for our Red Raiders who leave it all on the field every game. Pride for Texas Tech, a school that has shaped the landscape of West Texas. And pride for Lubbock, a community that shares a passion for our hometown team. At Plains Capital Bank, our commitment to Tech baseball runs deep. Supporting our community is just a part of who we are, as a company and as individuals. That's why we're in the crowd cheering on the Red Raiders at every game, because at Plains Capital Bank, we're proud to be here too. Plains Capital Bank is a proud partner of the Texas Tech Centennial. Rackham Tech, member FDIC.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
30 seconds.
Hi, I'm Texas Tech baseball coach Tim.
One more break left.
Compete each day to represent Texas Tech at the national level. Red Raider Club members provide the necessary resources to be our best. Thank you for giving to the Red Raider.
Gotcha.
More than
10 seconds.
Through scholarships, academic support, nutrition, sports medicine, and much more. You are the lifeblood of this department. Wreck 'em.
Learfield. Uh, well, I'll have 2 minutes left. But I can do that, so you're done.
That's what I thought. It sounded like
Yeah.
Our story started in 1996, and it continues because of you, our customers, our communities, and our neighbors. We are proud to be a small part of your success. But where does your story start? Where do you want to go? Whether starting a business, saving for the future, or launching your ideas to the next level, we want to help you take your first steps towards something big. Call or email one of our bankers today. At First Bank and Trust, we see potential, ideas, innovation, growth everywhere.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
For 10 years, the West Texas Land Guys have been turning land into dreams. West Texas Land Guys specialize in developing raw land into builder-ready master plan communities. Having developed hundreds of acres across 10 successful communities in the Lubbock area alone, West Texas Land Guys is one of Lubbock's premier land developers. Whether you're thinking of selling land or want to buy a lot for your dream home, we've got you covered. Visit westtexaslandguys.com to see how we're developing the future.
At Interim Home Health and Hospice, we provide one-on-one attention to patients in their own homes. We have been caring for Lubbock and the surrounding areas with personalized hospice care for 20 years. West Texans proudly serving West Texans so you can rest, feel, and live well. Call us at 806-791-0042 or visit us at interimhealthcare.com. Interim Healthcare, the champions of your health.
Life is unpredictable. It can get crazy. It truly takes a team to make life happen. That's why ABC is my bank. Their mobile app keeps me on track so I can bank on the go. When life throws me a curveball, I can always count on them. Bank on better with ABC Bank.
Member FDIC.
The Texas Tech Alumni Association stands stronger than ever before because of the thousands of alumni who are committed to our great university. We began with our first graduating class in 1927, and nearly a century later, we continue to serve Texas Tech through programs, services, and scholarships for all of our loud and proud Red Raiders. We appreciate our loyal alumni.
All right. Do you got any math for me, Dylan?
If you're not a member, consider being a part of our...
Let's see.
2 minutes and change.
If you're coming on in about 50 seconds, and you got to be off by 58:11.
Oh, it's 58:11? No.
Yeah, that's when the bumper ends. It starts at 57:41.
Okay.
So.
Gosh, dang.
That bumper starts at 57:41. Then you have 30 seconds. So then at 58:11.
So I got like 4 minutes.
Yeah, you got quite a bit of time.
Airway all day and still pull out the big stick. The type of guys.
Well, all sports talk it.
Alrighty.
And the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality.
10 seconds.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Back for one more here at Rudy's South Loop and Slide. Really want you to come in and try the ribs. I had those at Rudy's in Norman. They've got the brisket, moist, spicy chop with sauce. They've got turkey and chicken, pork loin, pork ribs, baby back ribs, pulled pork, sausages. They've got desserts in the little cooler right there as you place your order. You can also buy the rubs. Go home and use that Rudy's rub as you smoke your own things at the house. And then they got the store up front, breakfast tacos in the morning. All kinds of great things here at Rudy's South Loop and Slide is our location. You can't miss it. just off the loop. Come by and see us. It's 23 hours, 36 minutes till the Red Raiders try to improve to 26-12. Currently 25-12, 6-6 in the conference. Coming in is Grand Canyon, and I'm sorry I got them confused with Abilene Christian earlier. 6:30 tomorrow. You can listen to it right here wherever you're listening to it today. And then don't forget on Wednesday, it's been moved from a 2 o'clock first start to a noon start. So those two games there. Then the Baylor Bears this weekend. It goes 6:30, 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So Texas Tech at 6-6 has won 3 of 4 conference series, and against big-name competition. Oklahoma State, TCU, and Oklahoma took all 3 of them down. It's just you had the sweep with at Texas and no Brandon Beckel. That's the sore spot there where you just would love to get that back, would love to get Beckel back in the fold, but that is in the past. So the series that you have left in the Big 12, Baylor at Kansas State. Then you'll get Sam Houston State in the middle of that, fully knowing that they're not in the Big 12. And then you'll get at West Virginia and Kansas to end up things. So 2 road trips to Wildcats and to Mountaineers, and 3 home series left. Is it 3 or 2? It's Baylor and Kansas. So those are your 6 remaining conference games. Then you'll get into the Phillips 66 Big 12 championship. And it'll be fun to see some of these young pitchers hopefully making their strides and getting involved in the rotation, the midweeks, the Zane Pettys of the world. We'll get those guys out on the bump coming up maybe tomorrow and Wednesday. The Red Raiders softball team just lost a series to Baylor, but they've set a season record when it comes to home runs, going over 67. They had 3 big-time battles with the Bears at Rocky Johnson Field. Congratulations to them for really just improving and hitting the long ball, and an exciting brand of softball happening with Coach Snyder over there at Rocky Johnson Field. Texas Tech next going to take on Kansas when it comes to the softball diamond. That is about it here from Rudy's, where we want you to come by again and check out the breakfast tacos in the morning. They are tremendous. The breakfast tacos, you can get the brisket, the bacon, the sausage and eggs, and the cheese, and then don't forget the salsa. You can put that on there in the morning. And I love to come in here and just listen to the country music and the picnic tables and hit all those up and get that Diet Coke rolling as well for me in the mornings. That's my favorite, as Rudy's is open early, and you can come by here and check it out. Hard to believe that all these games are already under your belt. 37 baseball games, a win percentage of .676, and you're 21-4 at home. So you mean a huge part to this Texas Tech baseball program by coming out and supporting the Red Raiders. It is a massive thing for you to get out there and get in the stands and help us out with whether it's Grand Canyon or Baylor or Kansas at the end. We need you, and we need to try to get that RPI up to where we get into regional contention, and hopefully that will be something that we will get because we're so used to having that. A big thank you goes out to Dylan Riggs back in Jeff City, Missouri. He was terrific as always, and our good luck charm lately, so hopefully you'll be with us tomorrow, Dylan. A big thank you to Matt Burkholder, our sports information director, who always keeps us on tap with the numbers. And for Tim Tadlock, I'm Jeff Haxton. Congratulations to Gavin Cash, Gage Harrelson, and Ryan Free. Those guys were tremendous over the weekend in taking down the awards of Player of the Week, Newcomer of the Week, and Pitcher of the Week. Hope you enjoyed this program. Until tomorrow evening, God bless, guns up, and good afternoon and evening from Rudy's.
You are clear. See you later.